Today, we're going to talk about a hot topic, which is how do you stop your colleagues from uploading confidential data to ChatGPT? Or maybe you yourself want to stop doing this. Well, I'm here to show you some tools that can help you get started with what I like to call local or privacy first AI. And maybe you've heard of some of them, but we're going to go through my favorite tools as a privacy and security machine learning person. And I'm going to show you kind of which ones work for what tasks. Okay, to start with, we're going to go through Ollama. And Ollama is great. You can install it on most operating systems really easily. It has a really cool access to all different types of models. I particularly like Gemmas, but if you like Quen or Llama, whatever you like, and we can ask it information. So what are software I can use for local AI, right? Let's just see, who knows when it's going to respond. But you can do this on your computer. So there's settings, Ollama settings. You want to make sure if you don't want it to be connected overall, then make sure that you don't set up an account. Make sure you turn off the network. You can also turn on airplane mode, right? So these are all ways that you can keep your data way more local and not feed it directly into some sort of cloud system. So Ollama I would recommend if you're normally just using a chat, but there's other ones. So I'm going to show you GPT for all. And GPT for all, I really like when you have a set of documents, you have kind of a RAG setup, we call it. So retrieval augmented generation. And here, for example, for Probably Private, I have a bunch of links I've saved over now many years of papers I like, research I like, taxonomies I like, whatever it is. It embeds all of these using document embeddings. And then once I have that mapped in here I'm using OpenOrca, so a Mistral model that they then fine-tuned on more data. And in my GPT for all, I can ask direct questions to these documents, right? And I can even see at the end, it shows me what sources were most relevant. Is it perfect? No. But is it pretty good if you have a set of documents and you want to query these documents, maybe even contribute more documents to it and continue querying or using these documents to search and find out what information is on, your computer? Then I can really recommend GPT for all. And then if you're starting out with a computer and you install these software and you realize like maybe your computer's too slow or something like this, that's fine. What I recommend then, if you have a slow old computer, don't do what in my house we call elder abuse. Don't abuse your old computers. Instead, download Llamafiles. So this is a project from Mozilla, and these are just files you can literally download, and they run essentially just with your CPU. So you don't need GPU, you don't need a bunch of other stuff. They're often condensed models or sometimes quantized models, and then you can see what's the size of the model, and then you can download the file, and then you can just literally run the file in a terminal. I can go to my Llamafiles, and here's the ones I have downloaded, and I can just run one. When I run it, it's going to get started, and then it's going to open a window eventually. And in this window, I have a meta prompt here. I can do all different things, and I can send it here. So these are all ways. This is slightly more advanced, but good if you have an old computer or a memory light computer. This is very useful. And then one thing I built that uses Llamafiles is a Jupyter notebook. So if you're more familiar with Python, I'll put a link to this, but it's a Jupyter notebook where you can point it to your documents and you can do search and retrieval, but you can also then use that search and retrieval to choose particular documents and then query your Llamafile. So for me, when I notice that GPT for all is not doing well, then I go to this notebook and I use this notebook to do essentially better search and retrieval of relevant documents before those documents go to the model. So I'll again post this, and I'm excited to hear if you set up your own RAGs, then I'd be excited to hear it. And so obviously I'm a nerd, and obviously that means I am on Hugging Face. And on Hugging Face, you can test out a whole bunch of different models. So this is really only if you have a computer that's advanced enough to do these. And I'm going to show you more of my local AI lab that I have set up. Tell me questions. What questions you got about setting up your own nerd lab like me? But I have about 70 gigs of GPUs across a few machines. And when I really want to try out new things with machine learning, I often start up those computers and I use models from Hugging Face. Again, this is advanced mode and you don't have to go there. So start with Ollama, start with GPT for all, start with Llamafiles, and then as you get more used to the models and as you test out different ones and you figure out which models you like for what, or you wonder, does Hugging Face have a model that would be even better at this? Then start thinking about upgrading your equipment and running other stuff. So stop uploading your sensitive data to the GPTs. Start using local first solutions and local AI solutions to minimally, lightly protect yourself from this type of data exposure. Okay, see you.